Good afternoon, St. Andrew Technical High School family. Thank you for having me. It's my pleasure to really be celebrating with you this afternoon. I want to especially recognize our awardees and say congratulations, well deserved. I want to talk to you for just a few minutes about the seed of greatness that's inside all of us. And while I talk about the seed this afternoon, I want us to listen to a little story, a scenario of, just me thinking that I'll be a farmer. And so I went to the farm store and I got some seeds. I planted them and I watered them and I watched them coming up. They were just so beautiful. And then life got busy, yes? And I moved from meeting to meeting and I totally forgot about my plants. And so when I went to check on them, when I remembered them, you know what happened? They were no longer green and beautiful. And so they were hanging low, their heads were bowed, and you could see the distress on them. And so I thought, can they be saved? And so I started watering them until I realized they started smiling with me again. They started growing and blossoming and just blooming, just becoming so beautiful. Like those plants, we all came to earth with great potentials inside of us. I want to call it the seed of greatness. But I want us to ask ourselves this question. Are we watering the seed of greatness that's inside of us? We're here celebrating, and so I want to think that some persons have learned how to water that. Many of us started out, blooming, just being so beautiful, just being so fresh, just having such hope and just looking on. There was something to celebrate. But along the way, life happens and we get busy. And we get busy focusing on things that I would not want to say aren't important. But then we keep forgetting that we must water the seed of greatness that's inside of us. Because that's the only way, you see, my friends, that we're going to be the best version of ourselves. We did not come to be a version of somebody else. We did not come to be the duplicate of somebody else, whoever that person might be or those persons are, because many of us have been wearing masks long before we were required to. And so we put on these masks and we give the world a different picture each time of who we are, because we have not been watering our seed of greatness. Now, how do we do that? How do we water the seed so that we can become the best of ourselves? Not a replica of someone else, not the mediocre me, but the excellent me. How can we do that? And there are a few things I want us to think about this afternoon. One of them is to acknowledge who we are, to acknowledge the greatness that God has put inside of us. And the first thing for us to understand, I want to share with you, is that we are made in the image of God. And there's absolutely nothing wrong or nothing missing from who we are in order for us to maximize our potential. I am who I am, and God gave me all that I need to be the best version of Ingrid. But, so often we get sidetracked and, we would want to have longer, curlier hair. We'd want to go to a particular school. We want different things. And we don't understand that along our journey, God has given all of us just what we need. So the question is, who are you? Who are you? And if you can't answer that, then it would make sense that I stop sharing. I don't say anything else. Because you see, if we can't recognize who we are, then we are never ever going to allow the seed of greatness to grow. As a matter of fact, before it even starts growing, it is stifled. It's stifled by fear. It's stifled by self-doubt. It's stifled by all the noises that's coming in from all angles, and we are told about what we can't do and what we can do. But if we just pause and spend the time to recognize who we are and to build on that, then you would realize that we don't need to be anybody else. We don't need to want to look like anybody else, speak like anybody else, because you see, this is a bean. We're not all beans. Can you imagine if every tree around us was a beanstalk? There's no coconut, there is no peas, there is no corn, think about all the seeds. I want you to try to understand that. Don't try to be a bean if that's not what God created you to be. Don't try to be a pea if that's not what God has put inside of you to nurture and to grow. So as I continue, I want to say, recognize what gifts and talent God has placed inside of you. And how do you know that? Think about something that makes you excited. When you wake up in the morning, and this is what you're going to do, you get all excited. It's a good feeling. And you love to do this. Now, for somebody else, it might not be the awesome thing that will make the front page. But that's okay. Because they don't have your dream. They don't have your vision. They don't know what's inside of you. Because many times, even those who love us dearly can't understand what God has deposited inside of us. But if we really connect with self, we will find that. And so I want to encourage you to find out by spending time with me. I call it my me time. The time when I search the scripture. The time when I acknowledge who I am and why I'm here. And if I'm here, then it can't just be that I'm passing through. No. When I leave, I want to leave a legacy, a big footprint, one that would have made some big stamps across this earth, wherever my feet will take me. And I want to say to you, I want to challenge you this afternoon to not just aim to pass through St. Andrew Technical High School, to just pass through Jamaica and wherever your life will take you and your journey will lead you to. I want you to leave a big footprint. And that's going to happen when you nurture the seed of greatness that's inside of you. I want to encourage you to spend time on getting all the fertilizers of life that will get you to grow and to glow and to be the person that others want to be around, because you're comfortable with what God has put inside of you and what you want to become. I don't ever recall getting more than maybe 47 in physics. No. And you would say, well, what's your future? Because if you can't pass the sciences at third form, then what's your future? We all won't be doctors and lawyers and nurses. And what is it that you want to be? And that's called nurturing. So the gifts and talents that God has given to you, what are you going to do to nurture them? What is it that you need to do to nurture them? Today we have no excuse. We have technology at our fingertip. We can go on YouTube. We can Google. We have persons who will invest in us, who we can ask questions, who will mentor us. What are we doing about that? Are we going to sit and be like the chicken who complains about everything? Or will we be the eagle who will decide that I'm going to soar? I'm going to nurture that gift that's inside of me and use it to soar and to leave my big footprints on this earth. You see, I love the eagle. The eagle is just such an awesome species. It doesn't quarrel and nitpick and scratch in the dirt and complain. And no, it soars above the storms, and storms will come, my friends. I've been through many. But you know what? They have strengthened my wings and allowed me to soar. So don't be afraid of the challenges. Don't try to hide from the storms. Be prepared for them. Be prepared for them. And when they come, you'll realize that you are more resilient than you think. I want to just encourage you to, as you celebrate this afternoon, to not just pause and feel, that yes, I've done this. But yes, I've done this. What's next? Because, I want to say to you, I agree with the author who said that our biggest challenge to going forward is our last success. And so I implore you, let this day be the day that you use as a wind to pump you, to give you the extra urge to soar. But if you're on top of the tree now, that's good. That's really good. But I want you, as you rest, to nurture that gift that's inside of you. Look like the eagle way up in the mountaintop. And just continue to nurture your seed so that you can soar beyond even what you can see today. My friends, once again, congratulations and God bless.